Michael Bratton, that SEC podcast. You can find him on X. Just search SEC Mike. Find him on Apple iTunes, YouTube. Unbelievable SEC football show year-round, 365, 24/7, 365. Mike, welcome in, sir. How are you?
Hey, doing good. And speaking of gutter, that's where I'm ready to put the NCAA.
You went right to where I wanted to go. So, man, this story is so fascinating in that on several levels because, we've watched the NCAA kind of crawl around here and pop Florida State, going after Miami, going after Florida, now after Tennessee. We saw Charlie Baker. He's wanting to push people into this subdivision that he wants to create to control NIL and the dollars that come in. And Greg Sankey wants none of this. The big players want none of this. So he has decided that he is going to wage war with his member schools, and now he is on the doorsteps of Tennessee, but it looks like he might have bit off more than he could chew here. Yeah,
and you didn't even reference the part where when this Baker got in there, Jake. I mean, what did he say? He just said, we got to have the federal government do something. I mean, how worthless is this guy? I have no knowledge of any inner workings of the NCAA or the federal government, but I could have told you that was just not even a Hail Mary. It was worse than that. So just total incompetence, in my opinion, of what they're trying to do. They're trying to retroactively punish Tennessee for something that was not against the rules at the time, and as Tennessee has stated, and as we all know, what are the rules? I mean, it's not even clearly defined, and it never has been. And at the end of the day, I don't think Tennessee's got anything to worry because 5 years ago, 10 years ago, would they have got popped for this? Of course. But to my knowledge, they've broken no laws, and their NIL Spire group they have done the contract, so to speak, so that so none of this is even Tennessee related.
So just to be clear, is this all about a flight for Nico Iamaleava or Lava, however you pronounce his name? Everybody does it differently. Is this about a flight that he took on a booster's plane? Is that what the rub is here?
No, I think ultimately, and the details are still yet to come out fully, but I think what they're trying to get him on is just essentially inducement, giving an NIL contract to attend the University of Tennessee. Now, I have seen the contract, and it doesn't even say anywhere in there University of Tennessee. It doesn't mention playing football. It just says wherever you go, you get X amount for however long you're there, and it goes into much further detail, but at no point does it say, he could have went to Alabama, he could have went to Georgia, and it would not have affected his deal. Now, common sense, the Tennessee collective signs him. They want him to go to Tennessee. I get it. But, again, that's why there's lawyers, and that's why a sports agency is at the top of Tennessee's collective because there's laws and guidelines given, and they followed it to a T.
Michael Bratton on your radio. That SEC podcast is where you can find his work. Of course, find him on X at Michael W. Bratton. Just search SEC Mike. And find his podcast on YouTube, Apple, iTunes, and several other platforms as well. Yeah, that's what's interesting about this. And I always go back to the 2021 one sheet, as I call it, just a simple white paper the NCAA put out on NIL, name, image, and likeness, and collectives. It's about 4 bullet points. It's very vague, giving clearance to this to create rules within your state. And now the NCAA, and I like how I know you retweeted it, J.D. Piquel with On3 framed it. He said, this is not Tennessee versus the NCAA. This is college football versus the NCAA. This is Charlie Baker trying to strong-arm college football, and I just don't know that this is going to turn out the way he thinks it is.
No, it's certainly not, because I'll tell you, Jake, if Tennessee is guilty of whatever they're saying they're guilty of, then every SEC school, short of Vanderbilt, is just as guilty. Yep. Because we all know what's going on behind the scenes, and again, this could have all been avoided had they found a way to pay the players long ago, but they decided, hey, we're not going to pay them, but we'll make it legal to where others can pay them. Just, don't do it as an inducement, but that's exactly what it was, and that's what it is across the board. But again, how do you prove that? Tennessee's collective's not going to come forth and provide that information to the NCAA. Nico and his family's not going to come forward and provide that information to the NCAA. So I think this is you've already seen the state of Tennessee, the state of Virginia has filed lawsuit against the NCAA. And last I checked, Jake, the NCAA is about over in the last 10 years of any kind of lawsuit.
Yeah, they have not won any of these, and I don't expect them to do that as well. Hey, let's talk